Imagine waking up one morning. No alarm clock blaring, no panicked rush to get dressed, no calendar filled with things someone else told you to do. Just peace, freedom, and the quiet confidence that life is finally on your terms. Not because everything magically aligned, but because of choices made 7 years ago. That's what this video is really about, how 7 focused years can change everything. No tricks, no hype, just a brutally honest, doable framework that turns scattered money habits into a path toward freedom. Why most people miss the exit. For most people, the idea of retirement floats somewhere in a fog, maybe at 60, possibly 70, and usually loaded with some days. But life doesn't always wait. Health changes, markets change, careers shift. Yet many keep walking the same routine, secretly hoping that one day something just clicks. That hope? It's not a plan. This is a different approach. Think of it as a 7-year countdown, a freedom runway that's not built on guessing stock picks or winning the lottery. It's built on math, behavior, and compounding, 3 forces that don't care how flashy your car is or how many followers you have. Chapter 1. The Invisible Years, Year 1 and Year 2. This journey begins in silence, not with fireworks, but with a decision. Pick a number, any monthly amount that stretches a little but doesn't destroy daily life. It could be $50, $200, or $500. The actual number matters far less than showing up every single month. That's the seed. Those first 24 months, they feel slow, really slow. Imagine checking your account after a year, seeing a tiny gain, maybe a few $100 if things went well. It almost seems like a joke. All that effort and barely enough to fill up a grocery cart. That's where most give up, thinking compounding is just some rich person's magic trick. But here's what isn't obvious yet. Compounding tests loyalty. It doesn't reward early. It waits. It watches. It filters out those who bail before the good part even begins. By the end of year 2, something subtle shifts. That tiny gain? It starts earning its own gains. The numbers are still small, but now there's movement. Not just deposits doing the work, profits working too. That's when things stop being theoretical. The belief becomes evidence. The emotional transformation is even more important. No longer stuck in, can I afford to invest? Now it becomes, what can I trim so I can invest more? Suddenly, skipping takeout or saying no to the latest gadget feels powerful, not restrictive, purposeful. During these invisible years, there's almost nothing to show off. But underneath, financial roots are spreading. That's where the forest begins, below ground, out of sight, building strength. And 2 years, that's just enough time to see real proof without burning out, long enough to turn effort into habit. These are the years when nothing seems to be happening, until suddenly, everything is. The gains may be small, but the mindset is shifting. A quiet sense of ownership begins to grow. There's pride in sticking with the plan when others chase quick wins. And while friends might scroll for trends or shop to escape stress, there's now a deeper purpose anchoring your decisions. Because this phase isn't just about money, it's about identity. It's where the investor is born, where the paycheck isn't just spent, it's deployed. Every dollar feels like a tiny soldier being sent into battle for the future. And even if progress feels invisible to others, it's deeply felt internally. Confidence begins to replace anxiety. Habits start forming without struggle. Saying no gets easier. Impulse loses its grip. You begin to spot the distractions that once drained your wallet and your energy. That's the power of these early years. They create clarity, and clarity leads to consistency. It doesn't matter if you start with $50 or $500. What matters is rhythm. Month after month, the account grows, even if just a little. And that little bit changes everything, because now the belief isn't borrowed, it's built. It lives on your screen, your statement, and most importantly, in your actions. That's what makes these 2 years sacred. Not because of the numbers, but because of the foundation they lay for everything that comes next. Chapter 2. Acceleration, Year 3, 4, and 5. Something changes in Year 3. The snowball that once fit in one hand now starts rolling downhill, gathering speed. Every deposit made isn't just added, it multiplies. This is when people start checking their account and raising their eyebrows. That yearly increase, it's starting to outpace what's being contributed. That's the first moment where the money is outrunning the effort. But this phase is sneaky. It brings excitement, sure, but also temptation. With bigger numbers on the screen, the pull to cash out gets loud. A better car, nicer furniture, an upgraded vacation. But doing that now, it's like cutting power to a jet engine during takeoff. That growth needs momentum, and momentum is fragile. It's not just about patience now, it's about protecting the compounding engine that's starting to roar. This is where mindset really matters. Most still think in straight lines, $200 in, $200 richer. But now it's $200 calling in a small army of silent workers. Workers that never sleep, never ask for days off, and just keep producing. By year 5, those who stayed in the game often realize the 12-month gain is more than the total return from the first 2 years combined. That's the power curve kicking in, the part most never see because they didn't stick around. But this is also the moment when every dollar spent becomes more than just a transaction. It becomes a trade against the future. Not just $1,000 gone. It's $1,000 that never had the chance to become $10,000 later. So what happens next? The relationship with money shifts entirely. It's no longer a struggle, it's a partnership. Every month, money and time pull together. The wind is finally at your back. Chapter 3, Transition, Year 6 and Year 7. Now comes the part most dream about but almost nobody reaches. The moment when the machine that was built quietly in the background starts running itself. In year 6, portfolio growth in a single year can match or even exceed what it earned in the first several years combined. That's not a fluke. That's critical mass, a point where the thing feeds itself. Forget the mythical millionaire mark. What actually matters is your freedom number, the amount your investments need to generate yearly to make work optional. For some, it's $40,000. Others, maybe $70,000. The number is personal, but the goal is universal. Income from your portfolio covering your real life. Think of it like a rocket. Most fuel is burned during liftoff. That's years 1 through 5. By year 6, the air is thinner, the climb is easier. By year 7, orbit. It's not about quitting work, it's about having the choice, saying no to offers that drain energy, saying yes to opportunities that align with values. That's real freedom. Picture it. Waking up without panic, making coffee slowly, checking the portfolio, not to stress, but just to peak. The day gets built based on what matters. Work is a choice, not survival. Even better, no special stock picking skills, no market timing. Just consistency, discipline, and letting time do what time does best. This is when your money starts doing the heavy lifting. It shows up every day, rain or shine, and gets to work while you sleep. No clocking in, no asking for time off, just quiet, persistent progress. And with that progress comes power. Not flashy, loud power, but quiet confidence. Suddenly, financial storms feel less threatening. Unexpected bills don't send things spiraling. The stress eases because there's a cushion now, a buffer built not from luck, but from years of patient action. And here's the twist. This level of freedom doesn't come from massive income. It comes from intentional living, smarter choices, not harder work, fewer distractions, more direction. That's the beauty of the transition years. They aren't about showing off. They're about letting the numbers do the talking. The money grows, the pressure fades, and what's left is space. Space to think, breathe, and choose. This is where the runway becomes visible. The horizon comes into view. 7 years ago, this was just a blurry goal. Now it's something you can feel. And it didn't require perfection, just enough consistency to stay in the game. Even setbacks get easier to navigate. One bad month doesn't break the plan, because the machine has its own momentum now. It doesn't stop moving just because life gets messy. That's the reward for sticking through the invisible years and resisting the urge to cash out early. And when that freedom number is in reach, everything starts feeling different. Stress becomes optional. Scarcity thinking fades. Life gets lighter. Work can still be part of the picture, but it's on your terms, not driven by fear or obligation. It's about contribution, not desperation. And that shift? That's worth every slow, quiet, unglamorous month that came before. Because now the story is yours to write, without a financial leash holding the pen. The blueprint that actually works. The whole plan is simpler than most think. Step 1. Commit to a monthly investment number that doesn't break life, but can be repeated without fail. Step 2. Pick a vehicle, something like index funds and dividend-paying assets that compound quietly and consistently. Step 3. Automate everything. No decision-making required every month. Step 4. Pick a date 7 years from today. Mark it. Commit to it. Don't judge the results until then. Each contribution becomes a vote for the future. Every reinvested dividend is another vote. Over thousands of these small decisions, the future becomes incredibly difficult to derail. There's no secret sauce here, just time and decisions layered consistently. And here's the truth most overlook: consistency outperforms intensity. The flashy sprint burns out. The slow jog builds legacy. Wealth isn't built in weeks, it's sculpted in quiet months that nobody sees. That $100 auto transfer may not feel exciting now, but it's planting roots while others are distracted. It's proof of discipline, not just hope. And discipline compounds even faster than money. Every skipped impulse buy, every not now to things that don't align, adds another brick to that runway. These aren't sacrifices, they're trades, today's comfort exchanged for tomorrow's freedom. The process isn't glamorous, it's not loud, it won't get applause at dinner parties, but one day it delivers what applause can't. Options, peace, and real control. No boss, no paycheck, no economy gets to decide what tomorrow looks like. The decisions made now are carving that reality ahead of time. And that's what this plan really is, a set of quiet decisions made on purpose instead of default. Automating the investment means removing friction. It means removing emotion. No second guessing, no waiting for the right time. Every contribution just happens, like brushing teeth, like drinking water. A habit so normal that not doing it would feel strange. And over time, those invisible habits do something extraordinary. They bend the future. That 7-year date isn't a fantasy target, it's a finish line. Not the end, but the moment life flips. Everything after it gets easier, not harder. The system runs, the snowball rolls, the pressure lifts. And from that moment forward, the question isn't, how do I keep up? It becomes, what do I want next? That's the real payoff. Not just a number in a brokerage account, but the shift in posture, confidence, and clarity. Because once this machine is built, even average returns create above-average lives. The freedom to say no, to walk away, to slow down. That's what 7 years builds, and it all starts with a quiet, automatic decision this month. Nothing heroic, nothing dramatic, just one small move repeated until the math and mindset are fully in sync. And eventually that routine transforms into momentum. That's how financial freedom is built, not by chasing noise, but by trusting the process. 7 years, one plan, a future that looks nothing like today because it was built deliberately. Most overestimate 1 year and underestimate 7. This is the key most miss. People chase transformations in 12 months, then feel let down when results are slow. But they never give 7 full years a chance. The 7-year runway compresses decades of drifting into one focused chapter. It gives compounding the time it needs, but also keeps the deadline close enough to feel real. Ask one question honestly: where will things be 7 years from today? Still waking up to the same alarm, dreading Monday mornings? Or finally reaching a place where freedom isn't just an idea, but a lived reality? That version of life already exists. But it's built today, not someday. 7 years from now, one version of life will be real. The only difference is the decision made now. This journey isn't for everyone. It takes grit, patience, the ability to keep showing up even when results feel invisible. But those who make it, They wake up 7 years later with options, control, and a calm that money can't buy because they're no longer trading time for survival. They're owning time on their terms. This isn't theory, it's a repeatable process. And the best part? It's available to anyone willing to begin. Right now. If this breakdown sparks something, take one small action today. Choose a number, open that account, automate the first transfer, then mark the date 7 years out and protect it with everything. Like the video if it helped bring clarity. Drop a comment with where you are on the journey, foundation, acceleration, or transition. And subscribe for more simple, powerful frameworks like this. Because wealth isn't about luck, it's about math, mindset, and momentum.